Hello, everybody. My name is Zerduku, and I'm with my sister Akari. And guess what? We're back. We're back reading again. Finally, after all this time because of stupid fucking COVID. Anything to say, Akari or Tilly, whatever? What? I didn't catch it. I didn't. I did not catch that. By the way, I apologize for the other microphone. It comes in very shallow. I hope
Yeah,
you guys can
my
hear.
microphone kind of sucks. I'm sorry.
But anyways, Tilly here is gonna read. Wait, did I? Yes, I did minimize this. Tilly's gonna read Mr. Maniac the Raccoon. Now there are three chapters, but however, after you finish a chapter, you can decide if you want to do another video or not. What?
You're loud.
This microphone is not very good neither. So,
Yeah, we need to fix it better.
but anyways, there are three chapters, and you can decide to continue on. However, we have to stop the video between each one, otherwise we're gonna have a long video. But anyways, enough goofing around with switch
I have
chairs.
to school.
Tilly's impatient.
Kinda, because I have something I'm looking
Actually, I
forward
did
to.
forget to mute something, and I hope I'm
Oh
not muting the
yes, what did
recordings.
you forget this time?
I forgot to mute the desktop sounds because we're not going to be meeting.
You're a goober. A goofy goober. Don't hit my head.
Well, be careful. Alright, you can put on the headphones and talk to that.
Give me a
You
minute.
talk on that microphone.
Give me a minute.
I like that.
I don't think you really want me stepping on the cord.
No, because then we would have a problem and we'd have to end the video or shit and that cause problems.
Exactly my point. Give me a minute.
Crack hills.
I'm sorry. I've lost so much weight that my pants don't exactly fit.
It sounds like you're gonna have to get new clothes again.
Yes, that's what I'm planning on doing. Anyways, I can probably cut that out. Mr. Maniac the Raccoon, Chapter 1, Mystery Revealed. Okay. During the Great Depression and the golden age of cartoons, a cartoon studio was created called Funny Cartoons. Their mascot was going to be Mr. Maniac the Raccoon. The studio worked on the project for 5 months. Then Mr. Maniac the Raccoon hit theaters. It was a huge success. At that time, the news was buzzing about the new cartoon creating a great sensation around the world. Some people began to notice strange things about the creator, which started rumors suggesting that he was involved in a cult, which also made its way into the newspaper. However, good things never last. In 1960, Funny Cartoons went bankrupt. A short while bankrupt and their studio closed. Then something mysterious happened. A short while after, at the creator's house, there was a humongous shockwave. The creator disappeared and his house was left to rot. After a short police investigation, excuse me, sorry, acid reflux suck. I lost my place.
You shouldn't. It was
There.
edited and organized.
I lost my place because I burped.
Continue on.
Hush. The background noise.
Invisible. My name's on it. Zerduku's sad.
Cut. Just kidding.
You do
Um,
not know how to edit. Moving on.
nothing came to light. leaving tons of questions that were soon forgotten by time. Now the story begins. Mild itch. Okay. Present day in a place called Well City, on the outskirts of Los Angeles. It's a small city of
Yawn.
uh-huh, stupid body. It's what happens when sleep doesn't come naturally. Of 200 about 200 people with only a few skyscrapers and a small apartment buildings. The city of Wells is designed in a something friendly manner.
Try that again.
Quaint
I
is
don't know.
exactly my point. I don't know what that says.
I'm considering it's written in bold writing. I'm pretty darn sure the audience can see it, so
Oh,
they can read it themselves.
excuse my not so good reading skills.
Better than Winzo.
Don't be a dick.
I'm not. Moving on.
Featuring power plants, several construction sites, a post office, and a small market where the villagers like to shop. In the center of the city stands three enormous skyscrapers, overlooking the town. Whoops. Meanwhile, a red-haired kid is standing at the bus stop. He has a blue backpack and a dark red shirt and wearing gray jeans. "Hi, Max!" coming from the left of the red-haired kid. The red-haired kid turns his head and sees a heavy-set kid with blonde hair carrying a green book bag. I could say something, but I can't, so I'm just gonna keep my
Go
mouth shut.
ahead.
Nope, because if he ever sees this, I would probably be yelled at.
um. Okay. Now I'm even more curious, but I'm not sure if I really want to know. Trust me, not the same character. Moving on.
Anyways, with a bunch of cartoon character keychains dangling off the zippers of his backpack as he waves to the red-haired kid. The heavy-set kid walks up to Max, and they start talking. "So, Max, did you finish a drawing from last night?" Oh, this is a girl. Wait, no.
It's a dude. They're
Okay.
both dudes.
Sorry, I just saw the name Lily. I was like, wait. By the way, you spelt that wrong. You know, Lily can't wait to see what her character looks like, said the heavy-set kid. "Yes, I finished it, Jerome."
What?
"How dare you name what I assume to be a white kid a African American name?"
Really?
"Yes, if you haven't noticed from kindergarten, Jerome is the name of the African American
Yes,
boy."
yes. I know. I pulled names out from names that I already know. To tell you the truth, when it comes to human characters, I just pull out random names. Okay.
You should have just named him Gerald.
Now that I think about it, I should have. Too late now, unfortunately. Son of
I
a
could
bitch.
I could fix that.
Can't because his name because he's one of the main characters, so his name pops up like a lot.
Gerald and Jerome isn't that far apart.
That's true, but that means you would have to correct it every single time, right?
I could just say it Gerald instead.
Yeah, but you would have to remember it every time.
It's easy. I came up with it. So
Okay, we'll see if you can keep it.
okay.
But I'm not gonna give you a cent every time you get it. You say Jerome instead of Gerald.
Yes, I finished it, Gerald, said Max with confidence. And I'm pretty darn sure that Lily would like it. I'll show you on the bus when it gets here, sa- said Max. Where is the bus anyway? Said Gerald as he looked around. Takes a deep breath and lets out a big sigh. Will you get here already? Exactly what I was thinking when I had to wait for the bus, especially in the bitter
Okay,
cold.
keep reading. It gets funny.
I'm sorry. Sidetracked. It's probably because of that old lady behind the wheel. I'm sorry for all the elderly ladies that were my bus drivers, but this makes perfect sense. This must be why you guys were so slow. I'm so sorry.
You're gonna kill me. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die laughing. Moving on.
It's okay. She always gets lost. I'm just gonna leave that one alone before I get smacked.
There ain't no old ladies to smack you, so you should be fine.
You have plenty of neighbors that are elderly, so.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Okay, anyways, said Max as he closes his eyes and shrugs his shoulders. You know, I find it funny and strange that the bus company doesn't just fire her, said Gerald as he chuckled a little bit to himself. Unfortunately for buses or bus companies, sometimes the elderly is all you got. Because nobody wants to deal with a bunch of bratty kids.
Hmm. Never thought of that, but okay. Moving on.
Max looks down the road and sees the bus coming. Finally, there it is, said Max as he points towards the bus. The bus comes to a stop at the door, and the door opens. My bus
Is
always
it
had
is
this.
it necessary to put sound effects and stuff in here?
It makes it better.
Okay, if you say so. You're my
Don't
reader.
judge my skills.
You're my reader, and I have nobody else. So
Oh, you poor baby.
Sudoku cries.
Cry me a river with the tiniest.
I work hard on this stuff.
Yeah, I know. I know. It's not easy making books like this. Anywho,
It's a wonder I don't go insane. But moving on.
I think you weren't there when you were born, so you're good.
Audience, can I strangle my sister? Moving on.
Your sister is dead from laughter. uh, ah, there it is. The bus driver is an older lady with a poof of gray
Poofy gray hair.
with poofy gray hair and big thick round glasses. Uh, that image in my mind. All I can imagine is a short little lady that looked like not like a little person with poofy hair, these huge ass glasses, kind of like the one from The Incredibles, except just imagine her with gray hair.
I know. I watched the
The one that
movies.
creates the outfits for the family.
Oh, that girl.
Yeah, but just not
Um,
as funny. Just one that's a
she's
cranky old lady.
yeah, but she has black hair.
Just imagine her with gray curly hair,
Oh yeah.
thick ass glasses, and
Oh
some
my
wrinkly
God, she would
skin.
look so fucking hilarious looking.
Exactly
Moving
my
on.
point. Just
And I
little
believe
feet.
her name is. But moving on.
I don't know. Anyways, I gotta quit doing that.
It's gonna be a long video.
I'm sorry. Round glasses that look too heavy even for her nose. The first thought to my mind is Dylan. I'm sorry, cousin. Alrighty, they're whippersnappers. Let's get on the bus and not wait for the grass to grow. Okay. Alrighty, whippersnappers. Let's get on the bus and not wait for the grass to grow. I think that was good.
That was actually pretty damn. That was perfect.
The bus driver said in an old, scratchy voice. Max and Gerald get on the bus, strolling down the aisle until they see an open seat they can share in the fifth row. Big bus. The driver closes the door and then the bus begins. I hated buses. Anyways, Max opens up his book bag and takes out a sketchbook. He shows Gerald a drawing that he had done. The drawing of a cartoon female fox wearing cowboy clothes. Anime!
Um.
That's what I imagine. Don't ruin my imagination.
Well, actually, this is supposed to be related to old cartoons. So, if like the old black and white cartoons back in like the 30s and the 40s, with the, you
Mm,
know, it kind of looks like those Disney cartoons more or less.
mm. Like the old time Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, basically. So I hate to ruin your imagination, but that's what this is alluding to.
It's fine, but I just imagine a chibi, okay?
You
So
can do that because
it's
honestly,
cuter.
a lot of those Disney cartoon characters were kind of adorable.
Excuse me. Wow! I bet that Mr. Drew would like to see this in our class, said Gerald. Yes! And I think sooner or later we can finally make the cartoon we always wanted to make. We can call it Rodeo. You guys need to have better imagination. Anyways, said Max with excitement. I'm sorry, but that is literally just like a very easy title.
Well, I actually like the title. Believe it or not.
Of course you would. Anyways, Rodeo was a cartoon that Max and Gerald had in their mind for the last 6 months. Since they started going to class taught by Mr. Drew, who made his fortune by doing animated drawings for Walter Entertainment, which now is a multi-million-dollar corporation that particularly owns almost everything in Well City. Disney.
Be careful. We probably might get problems from them.
Hmm, I don't think
I don't think mentioning their names.
Walter Entertainment is not the same.
No, it's not the same. But
So you're good. The bus picked up two other people along its way to the school. Then the bus dropped off all the kids at school. Max and Jill get off the bus and start walking into the front entrance of the school, but they ran into two unfriendly faces. Oh, wonderful. The normal, stupid bullies that I wish that I could just beat the crap out of.
mm,
Or maybe just give them a taste of their own medicine. Two bullies. One was a skinny blonde teenager with an army camouflage t-shirt with a skull on it, wearing an army shoulder helmet.
yeah, the picture on the shirt.
hmm I gotta say the shirt's at least cool, but why the helmet?
The skull has a helmet on the picture. Basically, what I was trying to describe.
Oh, okay. The other bully looked hillbilly like. Oh, great. I can't do a hillbilly southern accent. It doesn't work
You
anymore.
don't have to. Matter of fact, you don't have to do all this other stuff you keep adding. But okay. I just
wearing
go with
red
it.
shh, wearing red flat fishing, wearing a red fishing hat, muscular arms, but a body that is heavy, like he ate a few too many cheeseburgers last night.
Actually, that was added by my editor. I was trying to say that he has a beer belly.
He's a child. They
Yeah,
shouldn't be drinking beer in the first place.
yeah, that's true. But
But then again, back then at those times, drinking age didn't really matter.
well, actually, this is taking place in quote unquote present.
Present time?
Yeah, the story itself. But at the beginning, it was talking about like back in times. If you
Oh,
remember.
anywho,
So, well, we'll just let the help the audience is following.
he was wearing a black muzzle shirt that barely covered his belly. Gross. The bully with the camouflage shirt grabbed Max's book bag and pulled him down to the ground. Jeremy! Stop it! You mouth breather! You couldn't have come up with a better, insult.
I was holding back because I wasn't too sure what kind of age group for this story I was aiming for. So I was kind of like in a corner trying to figure out, and I was like, what, just throw this out. We just can continue.
Still, it's cliche.
Yeah, I guess it is cliche now, but keep in mind that's still early. But
Anywho,
it doesn't matter.
says Gerald, running towards the bully to help his friend Max. Watch it wiggle, watch it jiggle, jello.
Stop! Don't put nasty images in the audience's mind. We're all gonna puke on their computers or cell phones, whatever it is they're watching this on.
I'm so sorry. Look, I'm not skinny either, okay, people? I'm not skinny.
Yeah,
But
I'm a little tubby too. But anyways, moving on.
that doesn't mean that I can't joke. And I'm not trying to insult anyone who is heavy set. Before Gerald was able to help, the hillbilly grabbed Gerald and gave him a nuggie. Nice. What are you gonna do about it, geek? Said the hillbilly. Clyde. I'm just gonna ignore the name now.
I pull random names out my ass.
Hush! Because now I'm gonna either imagine him as an orange ghosting, or or Clyde from Loud House.
Well, actually, I never thought of it, but Clyde is a common name, so I guess it works.
Anyways, itchy ear. Wait, no, no itchies.
Itchy. I hate itchy, especially when I'm playing video games.
Scraping his knuckles furiously over the top of Gerald's head. Let go, Clyde! said Gerald. Shouted Gerald. Jeremy, wearing the camel shirt, forcibly takes Max's book bag. Rifles? Really? Isn't that supposed to be riffles?
What?
It says rifles, but I think it's supposed to be saying riffers. Like it goes through the bag aggressively.
Oh,
Yeah. Anyways, through it until he pulls out the sketchbook that Max had been drawing his newest cartoon in. Then Jeremy opened up the sketchbook and saw the drawing that Max did for Lily. "Oh, man, check this out, Clyde!" shouted Jeremy. Then Jeremy shows Clyde the drawing by holding the sketchbook in Clyde's direction. "Oh, man! Looks like the nerds are drawing their own porn!"
that was alluding to the fact that how cartoons can sometimes be kind of oddly weird that way. But okay, moving on.
I did not need that image in my mind, but okay.
Just moving on.
Clyde responded. Jeremy finishes looking through the sketchbook and then shoves it into Max's face. Before Max and Gerald could retaliate against the bullies, they heard a voice coming out of nowhere. Ah, great. Ooh, a principal, nice. I need to sit for this
Spoiler alert.
one.
Moving on. Not really that much though. But continue.
Yeah, really. What's going on here? My throat.
You got nobody else to blame but yourself.
I tried. Hawaiian Punch, not sponsored.
Mountain Dew has some sponsor.
Don't copy.
my YouTube channel. My rules. That birdie back in me did for a picture eyes out. But anyways, moving on.
Ow. Wrong pipe. Well, shouted the principal of the school. Clyde then let go of Gerald. Oh, nothing, Teach. I just saw Max Fisher fall on his face, and I was concerned and wanted to help him. Sure, dickhead. Sure. Explained Jeremy. The principal did not look convinced. Good, 'cause you shouldn't be. You two, Jeremy and Clyde, you both have detention. See me after school. In my office, said the principal, pointing to the both of them with an angry voice. The two bullies followed the principal back into the school. Neener, 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 neener.
Is that necessary? Never mind.
Hush. I was a bit of a brat in school too, so don't worry about it. Max puts his sketchbook back into his book bag and walks up to his friend Gerald. Hey, are you okay, Gerald? Asked Max. Yeah, I'm okay. How about you? Gerald replied. I have a few scrapes, but I'm good. Yeah, just brush it off.
Tis but a scratch.
A half hour later, Max and Gerald were in the school second class, which is their film class with Mr. Drew. All the students sit down at their desk, while Mr. Drew walks in the class and writes his name on the board. Mr. Henry Drew. Why is Henry such a popular name? Anyways, okay, students. Who actually has an idea to show me today? Mr. Drew announces to the classroom. The classroom remained silent as nobody raised their hands until suddenly Max and Gerald quickly raised their hands. Me, me, me! Max Fisher and Gerald Taylor. What do you got? Asked Mr. Drew. Max and Gerald walk up to the front of the classroom and begin to start their presentation. Well, you see, Gerald likes Western films, and I like cartoons, so I decided to come up with this, said Max with nervousness in his voice. Max then takes out his sketchbook and opens it up. Inside is writing in large bubble letters is the title Rodeo. Here's the main character. Her name is Quickstar. Interesting, said Max as he shows everybody his drawing. The idea is that this female becomes a cowboy, even though the others didn't want her to be. It's a cowgirl. Anywho, that's what the cartoon was going to be about. And it would have cartoon animals as people, And I would like Lily to play as Quickstar. Oh, now I understand. Okay, said Max. When Max closes the sketchbook and finishes presenting his idea, instead of applause, all the students in the classroom start talking to each other. Quit whispering! Do you like it or not?
Continue.
Mr. Drew was sitting down in his roller chair and his hands on his chin in a thinking position. This idea sounds great. However, the name of the character needs to work, said
Need
Mr. Drew.
work.
I know, I said that.
No, you said need to work, which makes no.
Needs work.
Okay, whatever.
Yes, Mr. Drew, said Max with, oh, a depressing voice. Yes, Mr. Drew. I should have read that a little bit before I said anything. Then it was time for lunch. Max and Gerald were headed to the cafeteria at the same
Actually,
time
that was my
talking.
fault. It's the way I write the, how the way they speak and the things after. I
It's
apologize.
okay. Punctuation in writing isn't exactly your strong suit.
Fair enough.
It's okay though. It's okay. I don't use punctuation anyway at all. Ow.
That is true. Like most role players.
No one needs to know my secrets.
Moving on. Just keep reading.
Stare.
We are recording.
I can't believe this. We worked so hard on this project. I mean, what could we possibly name the main character? Asked Max, with frustration in his voice. I don't know, but I think we should do what Mr. Drew has always told us in these situations. To be patient, said Gerald, as they walked through the door into the cafeteria, accidentally bumping into another student at the school, knocking all the stuff on the floor. The student has glasses that look like they've been scotch taped together. Aww. Along with orange hair and a flood of freckles on his cheeks, compounded by large buck teeth. Oh my god. No!
It's a nerd character.
No, it's not that. I'll tell you later after this
Okay.
video. Well, I just spoiled myself because now I know the kid's name. Oops.
Alright, moving on.
And a drooling problem. Gross. Wearing a yellow t-shirt, plaid pants, and matching suspenders. You went all out on this nerd.
I did.
Oh, sorry, mister. Oh, it's Gerald. Whoops. Oh, sorry, mister, said Jerome as he tries to help out the student to pick up his stuff. Hey, don't I know you? Asked Max, at the same time trying to help Gerald and the student pick up the stuff on the floor. Yeah, your name is Matthew, isn't it? Asked Max. Oh, please, just call me Matt, said the student in a nerdy Irish accent. I can't make that accent.
Nobody can, I don't think.
Jack could.
Oh, Jacksepticeye?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you may be right about that.
Quite sure he would knock that right off the shoulders if anybody.
Yeah, okay, moving on.
Anyways, if memory serves me correctly, and we are in the same math class. Oh, math. said Matt as Max and Gerald finished picking up the stuff off the floor. Everybody here in school always calls me Mr. Math, since the bullies in the school force me to do their math for them, explained Matt as he continues to slobber over himself as he speaks. Shove something in his mouth.
I think it's his buck teeth that are causing problems.
Chops him off. Just kidding.
Moving on.
I know. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm going to be apologizing for doing this.
I feel sorry for Matt.
More like I think I would just give him braces to help his teeth.
Mm.
Stupid mouth breathers. They don't understand that I am more known as a conspiracy theorist.
Um.
Conspiracy theories.
There we go.
Hush! Explained Matt. For example, the stuff I'm gathering is information about the greatest mysteries of our town. Would you like to hear the theory I
Anime reference, definitely.
have? Asked Matt. You know, Max, this sounds interesting. Let's hear him out, said Gerald. Are you serious? Let's go to lunch, replied Max. I can't say one way or another on that one. Oh, that's okay. You can bring your lunch with you. Besides, I'm going to lunch, said Matt, with excitement. Then it's settled. Let's go, Max, Gerald said with excitement. You're too excited for this. Oh, man, I have a bad feeling about this, whispered Max. I'm with you on that one. After Max, Gerald, and Matt get their lunches, they sit down at one of the lunch tables, and start to listen to Matt's story. During the Great Depression and a golden age of cartoons, there was a man that went by the name of David, who many people believe is a part of a cult known as the Devil's Art, explained Matt as he showed an old photograph of David. It is believed that David joined this cult because he was exp- experimenting with ways to give life to his favorite cartoon character, Mr. Maniac the raccoon, which I point to evidence that Mr. Maniac the raccoon isn't just a raccoon but also a demon by evidence of his drawing, explained Matt as he shows a picture of what Maniac the raccoon looked like. Reading is thirsty work.
It is.
However, the studio was called Funny Cartoons. Ironically, it wasn't that funny, and the studio went bankrupt, and the buildings were demolished. This is what's left: David's house, which nobody has lived in since David disappeared in 1961, Matt explained. Matt then showed Max and Gerald an old newspaper. On the front cover it says unidentified shockwave comes from famous cartoonist David's house. I'm assuming that it was David's last attempt to bring his creation to life, said Matt. But now what's left is David's haunted house, a place where people go and nobody comes out, explained Matt. The Bermuda Triangle. Just kidding.
That was hilarious. Moving on.
There's a lot of mystery surrounding this event, and I'm going to get to the bottom of it. Would you guys like to help? Asked Matt. Max and Gerald looked at each other for a moment, then then turned their heads towards Matt and say in unison, "Why not?" Max continues to speak. "Of course, Matt. We're friends, aren't we?" Max said, as Matt slowly smiled with happiness. Oh, that moment when a nerd gets a friend.
Yeah, basically.
Don't worry, we've all been there. At least for the ones that are nerds. Or were nerds. Oh, thank
All
you.
of a sudden things got depressing.
Hey, that's your fault for putting that in the book. Oh, thank you. I never had friends before.
Tilly's gonna cry. I'm sorry.
Said Matt as he shakes Max's hand. Out of control. Thank you. Thank you. nearly pulling his arm from the socket. Ow! Okay, you can stop now, said Max as Matt was shaking his arm all over the place. Anime thing. That thing, when people shake their hand and then they just go all over the place.
I would never confirm
Ow!
this is an anime, but okay.
Mother trucker, your keyboard sucks.
What? I almost fell. No. Okay, moving
I
on.
hate your keyboard. It has no right to hit my nickel.
Careful, not my tables. Right, moving on.
I get it, my tears. Ow, I just pulled my hair out. What the fuck?
Why are you beating yourself up on this video? There is absolutely no reason. My book is not so bad you have to commit fucking suicide.
Hey, no. That's just my normal life, okay? Things don't exactly work out for me.
I could say something, but that would make this video too long. Moving on.
Karate chop.
Ouch.
The non-emotional ouch.
Because I just want you to move on. We're recording here.
I know, but sometimes our chatting will probably be a lot better.
Brother and sister.
Matt then lets go and says, doesn't even acknowledge that you just hurt the guy. You just goes after school. You want to talk. Wow. Anyways, after school, do you want to talk together and talk about it on the way home? Sure, why not? Said Max as he shrugs his shoulders. Although I'm not sure if this is a good idea. What if Max finds out about the detail I didn't add to the story? But I know for a fact it's true. I wonder how he would react. After all, Max's family for the longest time has been centered around Christianity. I guess I'll tell them when the time is right, Matt thought in his mind. Anywho, after school, Max, Gerald, and Matt met up with Lily. Yay! We get to meet Lily, the girl that we've been talking about for the past who knows how long. Lily has blonde hair and wears an orange shirt with a big yellow star in the center, along with a blue jacket covered in glitter that is unbuttoned. She is a 13-year-old girl that always carries her pink cell phone with her all the times and wants to be a popular actress. Oh God.
Something tells me you're gonna hate this character. And the way she speaks is outrageous.
Great. So, really? What do you think about the role I would like you to play in the film class? Asked Max. Like, I accept it. It would be, like, good for my image, Since like my biggest dream is to become like an actress.
That was terrible, but okay.
I'm not the preppy girl type, okay?
That's true, and I'm glad for that because that'd drive me insane.
Exactly. Max, Gerald, Matt, and Lily start to walk to their homes, but they plan to separate at the halfway point, since their homes are on different sides of Will City. Walking on the sidewalk, Gerald and Matt start talking to each other. Matt. Sorry, not Max. As Max stays silent. Lily looking at her cell phone, but all of a sudden a voice comes out of nowhere talking to them. No reaction to that, for now. I was hoping to run into you nerds again, shouted Jeremy. I hope you have a shotgun on one of you. Ugh. Do you guys, like, get a life? Thank you, Lily. That's the first time I will have to say that's pretty good.
Yeah, Lily hates these characters, so I hate those two bullies. So that part you might like.
Good. Yes. Seriously, leave us alone, said Max. Yeah, don't you have something better in your life? Come on. Do something cool with your life instead of being a dickhead all the time. It ain't gonna get you anywhere, except for jail. Jeremy crosses his arms and thinks about it, while Clyde stays silent, standing tall with his hands on his hips. Oh, God. All I thought about was a femboy. Literally.
Not even close, but
I know, but that's it. That's what just popped in my mind. I've been around too many different people, okay?
fair enough.
Jeremy looks to the left and sees an old run-down house. Oh, God. I already know where this one's going. Just shove a bunch of random kids into a haunted house. Yeah.
Perhaps that may have been too obvious.
I've been reading your books for years now. Hey, I have an idea, said Jeremy with a snarky tone. If all four of you guys go into the house and survive for a night, then I promise you that me and my friend will no longer bully you anymore. Yeah, we all know how that works out, explained Jeremy. How do we know that you're not lying to us? Asked Gerald. Scott's honor, said Jeremy. Yeah, you can go F yourself. And not in a good way either. Holding up his hand, doing the Scout's honor sign, and putting his other hand on his chest, as to show he is not crossing his fingers with a lie. I don't know the sign, so I can't do with that.
Come to think about it, neither do I, but moving on.
When were you in the Scouts? Matt says timidly with sarcasm. Okay. Don't worry about it, dork. Jeremy says, Hey, guys, said Matt, getting everybody's attention. If I'm not mistaken, that's David's house, explained Matt. All the kids look at the house. Even though most of the windows and doors were still intact, the house was run down, paint peeling off the walls, and rotted wood holding up a duggy old porch. A fence that surrounds the house is rusted and only stands 4 feet from the ground. The house had a bunch of ravens perched up on the top of the roof and flying around, giving almost a sense of death about the house. Makes sense. Sort of.
I think they should have been crows, but okay.
Yeah, crows are more popular. Anyways, Who would be stupid enough to walk in there? Said Max with fear in his voice. Like, I don't think it would be like good for my image to like go in there. It looks all like nasty and stuff. I
What's with the thumbs up there? You know what? Just keep reading.
thought I did a good job on that one.
Okay, I didn't catch it, but
No
okay.
appraisal for the kitty.
Tell
Fine.
the kitty because they're reading. They don't read poetry
Wow.
right now, so
Anyways, just ignore us,
I don't think that's possible. But keep going.
said Lily. Oh, come on, guys. I'll do it if my name isn't Matthew Fear Patrick. Um, um, casually sips.
Wasn't that what I was expecting for that reaction? But okay.
I can't react to that. Because I don't know how. Said Matt with confidence. Max looked at the bullies and said, I'll go in if you keep your promise, Jeremy, said Max. Hey, look, man. I can understand if you don't believe me. If you don't go in, you're only proving that you're nothing more than a chicken. Bok bok, said, said Jeremy as he makes chicken noises towards Max.
You read my mind. That is dangerous.
Wow, that's the first time, man. Well, the first time in a few books, that is. So Max, Gerald, and Matt start walking their way into the haunted house. I can't believe you morons! That didn't come out right, but okay. Oh well. To make sure that I get my role, I got to make sure that my boss doesn't like totally die, you know. Um,
Just keep reading and get
bitch.
dragged. Whoa! Hey, you were happy that she doesn't like bullies, but
Yes.
damn, you really do not like this character.
The only reason why she wants to go in there is just to make sure that she gets her role. She doesn't give a fuck about the character.
That's fair enough. Doesn't care about poor Max.
Matt.
Well, Matt and Max. That's now I can see why you get confused between the two characters.
Mhm.
That's gonna be a problem.
Said Lily with disgust. Then she follows them into the haunted house. Oh God. If you guys have ever watched the Inside Out movie and you know the character that hates the broccoli and she's all green, this is who this character reminds me of.
You know, really, when I think about it, I'm starting to wonder if I subconsciously was inspired to use that was inspired by a character for this, for the creation of this character.
Ironically, her name is Disgust.
Well, she's in an emotion, so it makes sense. Anyways, moving on.
Anywho, as soon as Matt and the three others get to the door, Matt pushes, and the door starts to open with a loud creaky noise from the rusted hinges. Ooh, that's strange. The door was unlocked, said Matt. I mean, doesn't really surprise me, but okay. Anywho, as the door slowly creaked open, a spooky gust of wind comes through the broken windows, startling them for a moment. Chicken. I tried to do the coffin chicken hide, okay? It didn't work.
Doesn't make any sense, but okay.
Okay, they're afraid of a gust of wind that isn't afraid. I mean, that's nothing to be afraid of. I mean,
Well, it doesn't make sense. It came out of the freaking house. It's weird.
true. But if you. Never mind. I'll explain later. Tiptoeing in, all four kids enter the haunted house. You know, this literally has the same vibe as the four kids in that one with the dragon.
The Adventures of Sarah and Drake.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, this is kind of a similar plot, but it's slightly different.
You will seem to really enjoy having four kids around the same age, going into spooky places.
And I think it's kind of a fantasy idea. We're going into a haunted house, kind of like when you go into a dungeon, I guess is what it is.
Why don't you just make a dungeon adventure? Oh crap, I just gave you an idea.
Take your word on that one.
Anywho, with Gerald closing the creaky door behind them, Max, Gerald, Matt, and Lily looking around inside the house. To the natural eye, the house seemed normal with one exception, that it seems that all of the furniture from the previous owner had been left behind. However, unnaturally, there was something strange about the house that none of the kids could put their finger on. It was as if death itself was leaning over you with a I don't know how to say that word.
Oh,
Presence.
what letter does it start with?
M.
Yeah, let me guess. Malevolence.
Yeah.
Yeah, I use that word a lot, so.
Gerald takes a deep breath and notices he can see his own breath as he exhales nervously. Cool. This kind of reminds me of when you're in Phasmophobia and you can see your breath because that's freezing temperatures. It's a spooky ghost. You might run around.
Moving on.
Okay. What's my what? My own breath? But that's impossible. It's springtime, 50 degrees outside," said Gerald. Yeah, like you're like not kidding. It must be like 10 degrees in here," said Lily she as her teeth chatters, crossing her arms, trying to stay warm. I imagine you're in a mini skirt, so you probably ain't gonna be able to get warm.
Yeah, she's not in proper clothing. But to be fair, like they said, it's springtime and it's 50 degrees that day, so they weren't expecting this.
There must be an AC unit that was left on, said Max logically. Uh,
It's an old house. I don't think so.
Not from this era. I don't think ACs
No,
ever
no, no,
weren't
no.
made at
Like
that
I
time.
said, the story is taking place in the present, but this house was left since like the
I'm
30s.
trying to say that in an old house from the 1960s
That's
or
fair.
older, I don't think AC units were a
Makes
thing back
sense.
then.
Yeah, so that makes it even less logical. I don't think he was thinking.
I overheard that David did most of his work in the basement, so that's where I'll find the answers that I'm looking for. Since we're here, explained Matt. Then, in that case, lead the way, said Max. Okay. Let the nerd lead the way and get you killed. Sorry. Max, Gerald, and Matt headed down the stairs into the basement, with Lily rolling her eyes, reluctantly following them into the basement. Good luck, Lily. Soon as they made it to the bottom of the stairs, they looked around and saw the art table covered in drawings and blank sheets of paper, covered in dust and cobwebs. Next to the table is a shelf with 6 candles and a book. Wonderful. No, look at that, said Gerald with fear in his voice as he points to the floor. The other three kids look at the floor where Gerald was pointing
It was supposed to be more like a nah or something like that, but whatever.
and see a large pentagram drawing with chalk. Interesting. So I was right. David was involved in the dark art practices. Dark magic, you dum dum.
Actually, he's still right, technically. Because dark arts, dark magic, it's the same fucking thing. But anyways, keep moving on.
Anyways, before my brain gets fried here.
Not hard.
Fuck you. Well, look at this, said Matt, as he smiled and picked up a radio recorder covered in dust as he shows it to the rest of the group. Let's play it and see what's on it, said Matt. I'm getting Indy and the Ink Machine vibes. Bendy and the Ink Machine. Literally. My name is David. Okay. Give me a minute and I'll be ready. My name is My name is David Fisher. I'm so close to bringing my favorite character to life. Once I succeed, I can finally bury that no good rip-off con artist who was trying to take everything from me. I'm the first one to ever push the limits of animation points, but yet he gets all the glory. I'll show him what true magic of animation is. The audio recorders ended. What? You have a great grandfather that you never talked about, Max? Asked Gerald. Nice. That can't be. I've never heard of him, Max responded. That's because Walter Entertainment eventually buried his company to the point where it was all but forgotten, said Matt. I'm sorry that I didn't tell you before. I hope you will all forgive me, said Matt. Max walked up to Matt, putting his hand on his shoulder. Closest thing that I have. It's okay. After all, we're friends. Max. Oh, said Max. Thank you, Matt responded with a smile. What's that? Asked Matt as he points to the shelf. Matt, what? Okay. Ah, hair in my eyeball. I hate that. Excuse me. I hate my acid reflux as well. It sucks. Why does everything have to be a nuisance to me? I'm trying to do something. Anywho, Matt walks over to the shelf and picks up the book. The book is covered in dust and spiderwebs. Strangely, the book was made out of metal, but yet carved into it was a pentagram on the cover with 4 keyholes on each corner of the book. Oh gosh. Next to the book was an audio tape.
What?
I'm not joking. This is literally Benny the Ink Machine vibe right now.
um. Okay, with all seriousness, Mr. Maniac the Raccoon was inspired by Bendy the Ink Machine. It was, with all seriousness. So I apologize if that's the vibe you're getting. But
Well,
that's
if
also
that's
because
what
it
you
was.
are going for, that's what I'm supposed to be feeling.
Yeah, exactly.
So therefore, there's no reason to apologize, you goober.
Well, you're mad at me.
I ain't mad. It's just weird to have that vibe again.
Okay.
Uh, Matt took out the old audio tape and put the other one in the audio recorder, and he pressed play. David's voice comes on the audio again and says, "I hope one day that my one of my ancestors finds this book and opens it and sees my creation I give to the world." The audio cuts out, and a moment later the voice reappears. "One must collect all four keys to open the book." The tape then glitches near the end and doesn't finish.
Tape doesn't work.
I mean, I
It's old.
didn't even imagine the first one to work.
Plot convenience. Okay, I deserve that.
Hush back there. Well, I'm curious enough to see if we can find the four keys to see what's inside. "What about the rest of you guys?" said Max. Gerald and Matt raised their hand with the signal of yes. "Fine," said Lily with a hint of sarcasm as she rolls her eyes. "I can't really roll my eyes anymore. Ah, it hurts."
I feel sorry for my sister now.
All four kids spread out, searching high and low for the four keys.
That doesn't. Why? Why? What is that sound effect?
High, low, high, low.
Okay, but that's not what I meant by high and low. But okay.
What happens when you have autistic people in the same room? The room goes crazy.
The audience are confused. I apologize.
We are all weird ducks, okay? There's no such thing as a normal person.
Moving on.
Yeah. Anyhow,
What are you doing?
all four kids spread out, searching high and low. Max takes the lead and heads upstairs to the master bedroom. Lily dances her way through the living room into the kitchen.
I have to say, at this part, this is where my editor started adding stuff.
Anywho, as Gerald and Matt decide between the basement and the attic. "I'll for it. Shoot you for it," said Matt. "Rock, paper, scissors," replied Gerald. "You're on," said Matt, balling up his fist, preparing to play. Gerald responds as well, making a fist. "On three," he says, face to face while smacking their fist to their open palm, making a loud slapping noise. I'm dead. In unison, as the boys say, "One, two, three, shoot!" Jerome plays rock and Matt scissors. Oh, at least I got the scissors for one of them. "Rock," says Jerome. "Scissors," says Matt. "Rock over scissors." "I win," Jerome shouts. "Damn," replies Matt with disappointment. "Neener. I always win at that game. It's so much fun," Gerald brags. "Sure, sure. I'll put you up against one of the best people I know at that game." Anywho, "Ah, shut up," Matt responds as he heads down the hallway to the back stairs that lead to the basement. Sorry, I shook the thing. I had an accident. Matt enters the master bedroom, looking around the room, which is dimly lit only by the sunlight entering through the dusty, semi-cracked windows that look out to the front of the house. In the room there is a large bed with all the pillows and blankets neatly arranged and folded. Max thinks to himself for a moment of how odd this is, since the house has been abandoned for several decades. The books on the shelves are arranged neatly as well, even the bedside table with clock and lamp standing under a pile of dust. Max walks to the bedside table, takes a deep breath, and blows the dust off the lamp and clock. Not nearly clearing it all off, Max coughs as some of the dust enters his lungs. Jesus! Max says with disgust as he picks up the old clock, wiping off the remaining dust. That's what I'm gonna just do, I guess. Anywho, ignore my weirdness, okay? Okay. That remained on the face. Max says to himself, "This is an antique. I wonder if it still works." Max then turns the clock upside down to see if there are batteries, and in doing so, something falls to the ground, landing on the hardwood floor, sounding as if he dropped a quarter onto the floor. Hmm. What? What was that? Nani? Fly me, dum dum.
Dum 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 dum.
Yeah. Max says. He places the clock back on the bedside table and looks on the floor. Max gets on his hands and knees, looking, and peeks underneath the bed to see if it had bounced under. Lifting the blankets away from the floor, Max peered under the bed. "Ah!" he screeched as a little brown mouse dashed away, startling Max a bit. "Jerry!" Jerry the mouse! You know, from Tom and Jerry.
Yes, yes, I know.
I'm speaking to the audience, not you.
Oh, I apologize.
Don't mind my brother, he's just a goober. Max chuckles to himself and says, in a whisper, "Damn varmints." "Well, fuck you too, then." Max then sees a shine coming from the sunlight that barely reaches the edge of the floor under the bed and reaches out to grab it. Aha! Max grabs the shiny metal piece, jumps to his feet, and screams, "I found one! I found one!" holding the key in his right hand. Yeah. Oh, jeez. Excuse me. The others yell up to Max, "What did you find? What is it?" "We're coming up!" exclaim the voices from across the house. Max erupts with joy. "The key! The key! I found the key!"
To be fair, in the first book of Adventures of Sarah and Drake, the kids didn't find anything. So,
True, except for a ghost and a dragon.
they found friends.
Pretty much. Voices from the downstairs respond. "Awesome! Fantastic!" "Far out." "What?"
That was probably from Lily.
"Okay." The others say. Max, being in charge, says, "Don't come up. Keep looking where you're at. We need to find three more. Keep looking." Max finds his way to the basement Matt finds his way to the basement stairs. Opening the door, walks to the first step. Ah, what the? For the love of Jesus, spider webs cover his face. Matt, disgusted, steps back and wipes the cobwebs away. Stupid cobwebs. And thinks his next move. "This sucks," he says as he is grossed out by the cobwebs and dust. I mean, I'll have to agree the cobwebs kind of suck, but dust isn't that bad. It just makes you go a pooey.
Awesome sauce.
He got that one from the what? I can't remember the cartoon. Something about the goblins or something like that.
Troll Hunter.
Yeah.
Toby says that all the time.
Matt finds a light switch at the top of the stairs. "Thank God," he says, flipping the switch. He tries it again and again, but nothing happens. "No shit, Dick Tracy. Of course it's not gonna work. It's an old freaking building. There isn't gonna be power."
Yeah, that's fair.
"Nuts," he says. "No power."
I think Tilly's gonna strangle this character.
Figures, I always get the crap jobs. What do you mean by always? You're a kid, for crying out loud. You're not even supposed to have jobs yet.
um,
Hush.
I
Just kidding. Say.
just keep reading because there's a lot to read. Trust me.
He mutters to himself, looking for some kind of light. Matt sees a small closet to the left of the doorway, opening it slowly. The door creaks on its hinges. And bang! "You know, guys, you should have had flashlights if you were gonna go in here."
They weren't expecting to. They were dared to go in.
Always expect the unexpected. It comes in handy. Matt jumps backward, frightened by the loud noise. He looks onto the floor and sees an old iron frying pan. "Cool. Huh," he says, picking it up by the handle. "What an odd place to keep a frying pan. It was a trap, you dum-dum. Besides, pan, huh? Pong! Makes a great weapon."
Fair enough.
Matt opens the closet door again and sees a small box and something resembling a lamp. Matt grabs the lamp, wipes off the dust and cobwebs, and notices it has liquid in the bottom and a wick coming out of the top, and it's made of glass. Matt shakes the lamp softly and sees the fluid in the bottom move around. "Oh, wow," says Matt. "Sweet, an old-fashioned kerosene lamp. Those are cool and they come in handy." Holding it gently and up towards the sunlight that barely gleams through the window of the back door. "Awesome. Matches," as he grabs the box from off the shelf of the closet. "Convenient." Matt then sets the lamp on the shelf and adjusts the switch with the semi-rusted turn key, extending the wick out of the lamp a little further. "My great-grandma had one of these, I remember," he thinks to himself. Matt grabs the matches and in one swift stroke ignites ignites the match across the side of the old Dougie box, and carefully places it close to the wick. Presto! Aha! Light! Never thought someone would be so excited about light, but okay. He says, what is that noise?
I don't know. Somebody's coming outside. Just keep in mind, I do have neighbors.
I know. Matt then holds the lamp in his left hand and reaches for the railing of the staircase with his right hand to go down to the basement, brushing away some more cobwebs as he carefully walks down the steps. Weren't they already in the basement to begin with? Or is this like a second basement?
No, they were wandering around the whole house if you were reading or remembering what you were
Yeah, but I
reading.
thought somebody stayed in the basement.
I don't know. A lot of this stuff was added by.
Well, you didn't really make it clear, so anywho, brushing away some more cobwebs as he carefully walks down the steps. Super yawn! Quit it! Quit it! Matt is nervous and excited of what else he could find. Dry. Dry mouth. This place is really cool, he says. Matt reaches the bottom of the stairs and holds the lamp in front of his face, looking around. The basement. Shelves are cluttered with cans and boxes, and an old bike leans against a back oil tank, and more boxes appear on the floor across the basement. Not really knowing where to start, he is intrigued by the bicycle down there. It is a red and white bike, about the size a 10-year-old would ride. Cool. The kickstand, rusted and broken off, lays beside the front tire in a small pool of water. Oof. Basement must leak, and he thought to himself, explaining why water is on the basement floor. Well, if the basement leaks, then all those boxes and other things are probably water damaged. At least for some of it. Matt walks towards the bike, brushing away more cobwebs, reaches for it with his left hand and pulls it towards him away from the oil tank. Huh, he says, kicking the tires that still have air in them. Strange. Yeah, I'm pretty sure tires would have been flat. Matt stares at the bike and sees a bell on the right handlebar. Ooh, the ding ding bell! I used to have one as a kid, so yeah, I liked it. He then places the lamp on the shelf, close enough so he still can see the bike through the orange glow of the lamp. He then rings the bell. Ding ding! Ah, where's my mouse? Oh, okay. Ow. Itchies. Bad timing here. Stop that!
Technical difficulties, everybody.
I'm sorry. Ugh. Ow, hair. What the fuck? Leave me be. Let me read.
My sister's enjoying this.
Angry sushi roll.
Oh, this is adorable. Now I know all you do is picture a cat and it's sushi roll angry.
That would be adorable. Picture Riku in the sushi roll, angry.
I died from the cuteness.
The bell sounds. Matt feels the bell is loosely connected, and the top is coming off. The bell is a rather large bell for this size bike, and Matt, getting braver by the second, tries to pry off the lid of the bell. In a swift motion, the lid comes right off, and oh my god, I found it! I found it! Hey guys, I found a key! As he jumps in the dark room all by himself with great joy. Pat, pat, congrats.
Sarcastic pats.
Yes. Lily steps in the kitchen and starts to look around. Oh, yay, Lily. Wonderful.
Just your favorite character.
Looking up to the chandelier, she is amazed at how the light from the sun makes the crystals on the chandelier glisten like a newly formed rainbow. Pretty. Oh, wow! Far out! Okay, not really sure what that means, but I guess I can go along with it. She says softly as she spins like a ballerina under the shimmering lights.
Actually, I don't remember. Yeah, that's right. Because my editor added a lot of this stuff, so I don't remember that sort of. But I think you're gonna die now. Pantsu. No Pantsu in this book.
Panty.
It's the same thing.
No.
Pantsu is panty shot in Japanese, right?
I'm not sure, honestly. It could be. Anyways. Oh, yay, I get to do. Yes. I saw something. Ah, this is so cool. Like, wow. I could stare at these like forever, you know? She says to herself. Spinning around and around, Lily bumps into the tea table, rattling the glasses and cups ever so clumsily. Oops, she says with a giggle, and regains her balance, and says, I gotta find, like, that key thing. Lily starts opening drawers and cupboards in the kitchen. Ha, 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 chewy! Lily sneezes as the dust from the upper cupboard spills out onto her nose. Oh, so cute.
Your your mood for this character is fickle.
I know.
It's like there are moments where you hate her, and there are moments where you actually like her.
I know. Like, totally dirty rude. It's fun to be it. No wonder why those preppy girls in school like this so much. Wow, she says, as she wipes her nose with a tissue she had in her pocket. Ew. I hope that tissue was clean
Clean
beforehand.
tissue.
Good. Please don't put it back in your pants, though. Lily looks under the table and opens the fridge. But to no avail, she is coming up empty. She thinks for a moment. If I were a key, where would I be? She giggles. Like that like totally rhymes. Um, I don't know what to say to that.
This character's just too much fun.
Like, cool. I could be like a poet for sure. She says amusingly. I'm just gonna leave that one alone.
Yeah, my editor said he really liked Lily like a lot. So he put a lot of extra stuff on her for her character.
Um, I'm just gonna also leave that one alone too, and just continue with the book.
And that's fair.
My mind is a wandering mind, so don't worry about it.
Just keep reading on.
Lily stands in the middle of the kitchen for a moment and looks into the living room through the opening where a door once was. Sees a cool looking hanging basket by the window in the living room. Like, wow! A flower from the ceiling! Awesome! She thinks to herself and heads towards it. You are way too girly and, like, perky for this particular area. Anyways, through the door and into the living room. In the living room is an old Victorian couch. Oh god, that's old and very expensive. With a large dusty oak end table with a small lamp on it. Ooh, if that is pure oak, that's pricey. Like, so cool, I like, she says.
Well, the previous owner was a
I know,
so it makes sense.
she says, and walks over to the table and reaches out for the lamp. Ew! She cries as she gets a large cobweb all over her fingers. Grody! Nobody says that!
Like I said, a lot of this was added, so.
She says as she cleans her hands off on her pant leg. Lily then tries to turn on the lamp. Let's see if you're smart enough to turn it on.
That's mean.
Well, I think I don't know how much she knows about modern tech. Or, I mean, old time tech. But, okay. And, but no luck. She looks down after turning on the button several times. Aw, man. Poor dude. Like, has no light bulb thingies. Beat? Oh, light thingies beat. Must, like, live in, like, the dark ages. You clearly did not listen to Max and Matt and Gerald, like, at all. Can I smack her? Maybe she'll get some sense in
Be my guest, but it ain't gonna do no good.
her. If only Tilly could.
Yeah, Tilly never met these characters.
Not yet. Or probably not ever. Because they're probably on Earth. I'm assuming. And must be, she says in a whisper. Lily looks around more, around the windows and floor. Back off, yawns! Under the tables and chairs that occupy the west side of the room. She opens a few books, flipping through the pages and turning them upside down, and shaking them, hoping something comes out. Man, this like is some James Bond shit. First swear word in the book.
I didn't put that in.
I know. Searching for the lost key to Atlantis. Good reference, she thinks to herself. As she turns to head back into the kitchen, she bangs her foot on a small wooden box at the edge of the room next to the piano. Ouch. What the? Is this man far out? A magic box? Quit saying that! I don't understand what you're trying to say!
Just the way she speaks.
Speak normal.
Never, because that's the way the character will always be. Reading.
I'm trying to go where I missed the spot.
Okay, sorry.
A magic box? She says as she picks it up. The box is dusty and dirty, and she wipes off the top with a rag that was on the piano. Wouldn't that be dusty too? I'm not
Fair
gonna
enough.
question it.
not question too much.
Lily opens the box and music starts to play. Like, yeah, man! She dances holding the box, circling around again in the living room to the chimes of the box. Some aspects you remind me of a 4-year-old. Other aspects you remind me of a moody teen.
I think the thing is, me and my editor was going two different directions with this character. I think is the problem because I was going definitely going for a preppy teenage girl.
Mm.
I don't know exactly what my editor was trying to do.
By the looks of it, he thinks of her as a child.
I guess that's.
But I guess that makes sense because he is one of those older dudes, so he probably thinks of a 13-year-old like a little kid.
I guess that's fair. Moving on.
Let's move with little shines. Okay, wait a second. This is so cool. Lily sets the box down and stares inside to see the little chimes moving rhythmically to the music. And she notices a tiny small drawer on the bottom. Ah, dude, what's this? And Lily opens the little drawer and she sees a bright shiny key on the red velvet inside the box. Ooh, ooh, ooh! Like, hey, like everyone, hey, I found it! Like, totally found a key thing! She screams and dances in the living room, almost dropping the box as her excitement overwhelms her with joy. Sometimes I really just want to pat her and be like, you're too cute. And then other times I want to be like, and then there's a little part of me that wants to go,
And I like also the emotional changes to Tilly here because it's kind of like you never know what she's gonna say. Moving on.
Hey, Lily, that's fantastic, says Max from the top of the stairs as he was leaving the master bedroom with the key he had found. Max screams, that's 3! I got one too! How about you, Gerald? He yells, but Gerald doesn't answer. Knowing your books and how they are, I assume that he's probably got trapped in some sort of trapped area, like trap door type deal.
Let's keep going.
Eh, and all I can imagine now is
Moving on.
Since Gerald lost the rock paper scissors shoot game to Matt, he was forced to find the attic in hopes of finding the last key. Gerald is a movie watcher, specifically horror movies, finds attics to be very unsettling, especially after watching Crawl Space, a horror thriller with a very scary and frightening attic.
I did not write this part.
That's copyright!
It's not.
Just kidding. I don't think you can really. I don't know if you can mention the
Well, we looked it up
movies.
before we wrote it down. We
Okay.
know that. But like I said, I did not write this part because I decided
Okay.
to leave it.
Anyways, Gerald walks around the second floor. Old paintings and lanterns hang on the walls, seemingly watching Gerald as he strolls nervously looking for a possible clue for the key. He then turns to a small corner and sees a beaded string hanging from the ceiling. Gerald pauses and starts to reach for the string and stops. Huh, he thinks as he stares at the string, wondering what it could be, or more, what it will lead to. Gerald swallows nervously, gulp, and reaches and grabs the string with his right hand and gives it a good pull. Yank! The ceiling separates, and what he finds is an attic staircase dropping from above. Dun, 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 dun. Ignore the way that is. I can't really do anything better. Oh, wow! Holy! Gerald says. He unfolds the stairs and looks up into a dark opening in the ceiling. Gerald has second thoughts. I would too, buddy. I would. Because I don't like attics either. At least not attics that open up like that. Where is it? Remembering the scary scenes from the movie, he is timid about walking up the narrow wooden stairs that he knows will bring him into the attic. Gerald then swallows his fears and sets his right foot on the first rug of the ladder. Grabbing both railings, he says, well, if this is it, I'm going to die up here. That could have been a lot better. Anywho, Gerald pulls himself up and, holding on tight, walks up the dusty, narrow passages into the place he fears the most. Reaching the top, panting with fright, Gerald lifts himself onto the floor of the attic, brushing away cobwebs that scatter throughout the uppermost floor of the Fisher house. The soffit vent on the far side of the attic lets in a small amount of sunlight, just enough to allow Gerald to see. And look around without using a lamp or flashlight, which was good, since he had neither one of those. Gerald looks to the to the left, and then the right, to acclimate himself with his surroundings. Nothing but old boxes and a broken dresser. Gerald steps in front of the dresser and looks up. Ah! He yells in fear, stepping back and almost falling over backwards. He catches his balance only to realize he just saw a reflection of himself and not a scary monster in the dark and musty attic.
That was definitely a horror cliche.
Okay, if you scream at yourself in a mirror or a reflection, then damn, you are pretty fucking scary.
It seems like the Three Stooges moment, but okay.
uh, ha 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 ha. Blush. Gerald chuckles with embarrassment over what had just happened, and was glad he was alone, as his friends would laugh at him for the silly mistaken identity. You do not realize how many other people are laughing at you right now. And let me be clear, at you, not with you.
That's screw,
I crack myself up. Gerald gathers himself and keeps looking through the attic, opening drawers to the dresser and the broken desk that sat to the left. Eh,
We're gonna need more drinks, are we?
balls, I'm out.
Keep reading, I'll get us some drinks.
Thank you. And the okay, opening drawers to the dresser and the broken desk that sat to the left, only to find some old shells and drawing pad, pencils and a drawing pad with mostly blank pages. His looks He looks through the pages of the sketch pad quickly and tosses it back onto the desk. His aim is bad as the pad lands on the edge and falls to the floor, raising a cloud of dust. Thud as it lands. Oof. Gerald, disgusted at his aim, walks around the desk to retrieve the pad, to put it back where he had found it, as if not to disturb the attic. Out of the corner of his eye he sees a large box or a chest half covered by an old bed sheet. "What's this?" he thinks, and walks over to the pirate-looking treasure chest. A large gold lock is on the front of the chest. The lock doesn't need a key, but a combination of numbers must be used to open it. Gerald tries to slam the lock in frustration, as now he will have to figure out the combination. It only has 3, so it shouldn't be that hard. He thinks and starts to figure out the combination. Holding the lock in his left hand and using his right hand to scroll the numbers, he says in a whisper, 1, 1, 1. Gives the lock a tug. Damn. He says, 1, 1, 2. Tug on the lock. Damn. This is going to take forever. Gerald, now determined, keeps going. After several minutes and many failed attempts, he takes a step back. Leaning on the edge of the dresser, he looks at the pad again. Laying on the ground, he picks it back up and takes a closer look. Some half-drawn pictures of houses and horses, mostly. He then notices some numbers. The houses have addresses, and the horses in the front of the houses are numbered as well. Why? They are not racing horses or famous houses. Why are they numbered? Flipping through, he comes to the last drawing. A quiet farmhouse with a silo and field, with a horse in the front, ready to draw the carriage into town. The numbers are drawn at an angle as Gerald looks and thinks. The house has a 34 and the horse a 2. These numbers are lined up, he thinks, and aha! He left himself the combination in the drawing so he wouldn't forget. Gerald thinks, and quickly reaches for the lock, and starts moving the numbers as fast as he can with excitement. 342, he says, and pulls. Snap! The lock opens and dust flies as Gerald has figured the secret combination to Old Man Fisher's treasure chest. Old man. Gerald lifts the lid and opens the chest. Old papers and some jewelry are inside. Gerald isn't that excited, thinking this stuff looks like what my grandma wore to church on Sundays. Holding the old necklaces and bracelets in his hand, sifting through some more papers, he uncovers a key buried underneath what he thinks is garbage. Gerald reaches out and grabs a shiny silver key. With excitement and joy, "I found it! I found it!" he screams, jumping up and down with glee. Bam! Ouch! Ah, shit! Gerald can't finish his words. "Ah, damn!" he says, rubbing his head with his hand. "Stupid attic with their low ceiling, that hurts."
I know how that feels.
Anywho, Gerald rubs his head some more. The way you guys word this, why? looks at his hand. He realizes he is not bleeding. He will be okay. Gerald then rushes for the stairs and climbs down as fast as he can, holding the key in his left hand. Races down the hall to the master bedroom, yelling, "I got it! I got it!" The others hear the yelling and they race to the master bedroom, all holding the keys they have discovered. The kids gather with excitement. Matt takes charge. "Give me the keys," he says. The others all hand Matt the keys and wait to see what he plans to do next. Matt then pulls all four keys and puts all four keys into the sockets of the book and turns them clockwise. All of a sudden, an old record player turns on. I am the dancing demon. Watch me twirl and spin. I am supposed to give a smile to the children, but I will not forget your sins, sang the voice on the old record player.
I think you might know where this is gonna go.
Oh, yeah. Then all of a sudden, the book flew out of Matt's hands and landed on the floor, then opened up. Then sprinkles of sparkling dust comes out of the book. Moo-ha-ha! The one
Give me a minute.
you need to get that phone quickly. I think it's back playing.
Yes, it is. Just press the minimize button.
Okay. The wonderful imagination. Welcome home, dear friends. How long have we been waiting? Said an unidentified voice in musical tone. When the dust cleared, they saw something they could not believe. They saw a black and white raccoon that looks like he just hopped off a cartoon show, with which he had bright yellow piercing eyes. "Let's create a masterpiece. Let you see 'em in your dreams. All you got to do is open up your mind to the imagination," sang the raccoon as music continues and comes from nowhere. All four kids just looked confused when nothing making sense. Doot 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 question marks on top of their heads. The fuck am I witnessing? What is going on?
The thing is, I kind of visualized everything happen to be kind of like like not live action as in like it's real. It looks
Mhm.
like actual people. But when Mr. Maniac the raccoon shows up, it's like something out of like Roger, Who Framed Roger Rabbit kind of deal.
Mm. Anywho, I am a project of the audience's creation, of being brought to life. Upon this threshold, imagination comes to life. Just free yourself and reason, and soon you will see in black and white. Call me a seed of evil. What does that mean? If I am conceived in your mind, leaking from the imagination of your mind brings it leading through the lines. Is that your heart beating? Collect what's necessary, keep appeasing the divine. Suddenly the raccoon raises both his hands, and soft glow surrounds him, with their keys shining magnificently, forming a crown above his furry little head. It's too cute! It's me you should be believing because he's deceiving you with lies. As he holds a cross, singing gleefully and dancing in circles, he stops and points the cross. And in an instant the cross melts and disappears out of sight. Oof. The raccoon continues to sing with music coming from nowhere and the raccoon showing tons of energy to dance around the kids like there's no tomorrow. I love this character already. Hello, my name is Mr. Maniac the Raccoon, and I am a devilish cartoon dancing for your dreams. And you might say that I am here to break your mind, because I grow in happiness and dark despair. The world may be bored. The pencil is mightier than the sword. It has no limitation. Don't refrain from the stain of heart. Nothing can erase us now. We never harm the hand that draws. Imagination that makes my claws. Shamed and disgraced, changed into hatred that can't be erased. You, the creators that have betrayed me. I've got it on tape, and we wigged your fate. It can't be erased. I wasn't always a monster. Once I was mighty muse, and ambition made me stronger, but the power was abused. The name implies I'm completely insane, so can you trust me in deals? Or can ya? With my pencil of imagination, I can alter reality and break the fourth wall.
You're gonna die. I am so sorry for making this so intense.
Breathe, Chelsea, breathe.
Please
I
do
mean,
not.
sorry.
Please do not lose your voice.
I will be okay. Therefore, I cannot be tamed by no human. I am blinded by this evil growing. My heart is full of loathing. It's secrets that I keep shuns from showing. I am the wolf in sheepish clothing. There is no way to stop the evil growing. As I drew closer and closer to you, it won't be for long before my evil master plan is revealed. But by then it will be too late because I cannot be concealed. Mr. Maniac the Raccoon then takes off his hat and takes a bow that all the audience that is reading this book stands up and applauds. End of chapter.
Next chapter.
Not yet.
I know. It's just giving a preview because honestly, there's nothing else under it.
The next chapter, chapter 2, playing mind games, will be some other time. This is Akari, and I'm gonna say goodbye. I haven't come up with a catchphrase yet. Here is my brother. I'm tangled. I'm tangled.
Just try to stand up if you can. Grab the microphone. So, what did you think, Tilly, before I end this off?
What did I think? Let's see. I gotta say, my favorite characters are Mr. Miyagi.
I figured that would be the case because I think Mr. Red the Raccoon is like on par with like Beetlejuice in a way.
I like to sing, so yeah.
Anyways, please like and subscribe this 1 hour video. Holy shit. And this is Zerduku and Akari signing out.